A Lewis and Clark County judge ordered 3 years of probation for an 18-year-old who admitted his involvement in starting last summer's Horse Gulch Fire.
I am aware of the horrifying circumstances of his negligent actions. $20 million in damages, the death of a pilot, disruption of so many lives.
Judge Kathy Seeley oversaw the case in juvenile court as the defendant was 17 years old at the time of the allegations. And because of his age, MTN will not be identifying the teen. According to an affidavit from Lewis and Clark County, the United States Forest Service received tips from a social media post asking for information about the Horse Gulch Fire. These tips led officers to interviewing several juveniles, one of which court documents say admitted to starting the Horse Gulch Fire with the defendant by trying to prepare a spot for a bonfire.
We determined through our investigation that he lit the grass on fire, put it out. He thought he had it out cold, but obviously it wasn't out cold because it later ignited what would become the Horse Gulch Fire.
Investigators also found roughly 30 used bottle rocket type fireworks in the area where the fire started, which the defendant admitted to shooting off. The affidavit says the teens left after they thought they put the fire out, but soon after they saw a plume of smoke coming from the area. The defendant admitted to investigators that he said not to tell anyone because they would get in a lot of trouble.
I don't think he went up there with the intention to burn the world down.
After the allegations against the defendant were made, he spent time in a juvenile detention center, and once he was released, he was supervised by a probation officer. She said the defendant broke the conditions of his release once by leaving the county without permission when he was ticketed for crashing a vehicle, and the other when he was not where he told his probation officer he would be. The defendant's attorney pleaded with Seeley, saying his client understands the seriousness of what happened. At the end of the disposition hearing, Judge Seeley placed the defendant on probation until he turns 21, with conditions including no access to fire-starting materials like matches, lighters, and fireworks, not having access to U.S. Forest Service property or National Forest Service lands without approval from the district's ranger, and 100 hours of community service. The defendant volunteered to pay $2,700 in restitution to the Office of Juvenile Probation. Lewis and Clark County Sheriff Leo Dutton said with the severity of the case, he was hoping for a harsher punishment.
I felt let down. There are laws that restrict the amount of punishment that you can give a juvenile. I understand that, but I felt frustrated.
The Lewis and Clark County Attorney's Office says 2 other juveniles could be facing charges for the Horse Gulch Fire. In Helena, I'm Allie Kaiser, MTN News.